Opening the meeting of the Recreation Committee Monday, May 6, 2024 at 6:38 p.m. We'll start off with the members present. We can work from Courtney this way.
Courtney Boudreau.
Ben Norton.
Mary Anastasia.
John Regan.
David Brohl.
Mark Sands.
Cindy Courier, COA liaison.
Did anyone get a chance to look at the two meetings from prior meetings that Mark sent out?
I did make an amendment based on feedback we got. I've altered it because the meeting was on April 8th, not the 1st, as I erroneously placed it as. And then I brought clarity to, I believe, the final paragraph under new business.
Yeah.
About Mark will add to the agenda providing credit for non-use of fields prior to the opening of the season to the agenda as per request of John Vogel. As we
This
never
one's not.
Okay.
Yeah. Select board member Bill DeMayo was brought to my attention is undertaking efforts to locate grants that would benefit the Recreation Committee. Mark will work with him. Those are the changes that I made to the amendments that was sent out earlier today. If there are no further amendments or questions regarding the agenda for the April, I make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
I second. All in favor? Aye.
And then with the other minutes, the March minutes, I didn't see any changes or amendments. I make a motion to accept the March minutes as written.
Second. All in favor? All right.
Again, I apologize for the unprofessional time in which they come out, not giving anybody sufficient time.
Nope.
I can tell you all the reasons they're not, doesn't matter if they're not, and I apologize.
Nope, I saw them, I read them as quickly as I possibly could.
Deleted now.
Did not, right here.
I saw, I read it, delete.
Right here. See? Okay. Minutes are taken care of. Correspondence, who wants to do correspondence tonight?
I have one. A neighbor, Chris Burgess of Birch Lane, had approached me regarding the Central Street recreational resource area. Was wondering if the Recreation Committee would consider installing a mini library where people could leave and take books, figuring that's a good place for kids and adults to come in and exchange books. I have a call into the library to see, not that they would be a part of it, but if they had any objections or any concerns going forward with that. I did reach out to a couple people that would consider help building it with some of the local youth.
So just regular free library, one of those little stands?
Little stand, we could help design it.
Are we talking like an outside stand?
Outside stand
Or
that would
inside?
be placed somewhere along the field, that people would have access to it. Perhaps my mental model would have it, I don't want to say near the dumpster, but near the entrance path to the building. There could be a stand that's maybe about 3 feet wide, 2 feet high, 2 or 3 shelves. One shelf would be just adult, with adult glass doors that people could open up, see what's in there, take and exchange. Work in partnership with the library, some intertown collaboration. If that's something we would want to consider, I'd be happy to bring in more details and
Absolutely.
move it forward.
Anyone else have any thought on that? Bad thought, good thought? Yeah, I think it'd be a great idea. People that, just a parent that is sitting watching mundane soccer practice, grab a book and,
Or the sibling who's not playing
Yeah.
can grab something.
awesome.
So my steps is, at this point, I don't think we need to vote on it. I will get affirmation and support, more support from the library, and a building plan and design structure for it.
All right. I'll give you some affirmation. You do a fine job, Mark. All right. What else is on here? Anyone else correspondence? Bills and claims. My favorite. Bills and claims.
Favorite.
My favorite.
Water bill,
How much?
I forget.
Okay.
Water bill came in though, within line of
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Yeah.
The oil bill came in and the,
Gas bill, right?
yeah, I call it
Yeah,
oil
yeah.
because it's Townsend Oil, sorry.
Yeah.
But the gas bill, the propane bill, and the mellow weekly, I guess it's the increase in mellow pickup. So those came in, those were submitted. The only thing that's still outstanding that I did have to call into the accountant, I guess, is the no heat call that we talked about in January.
Yeah.
I have not seen, that generally is a billable charge.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that the
Right.
DPW will bill us
And that's
for.
what we said,
Yeah.
so I'm just chasing that a little bit more,
Yeah.
just to see
Yeah.
if that's something that's
All right,
payable under our umbrella.
So I'll write that you're chasing it.
Yeah, I'm still chasing it. I think that was on one of the meetings.
yeah, you could always, if you want to, DPW, and then if the DPW administration is really good, I mean, she's just wonderful as far as getting back to
Annette,
you.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Annette,
yeah, that's
So,
who I-
yeah, that would the person I'd reach out to.
Yeah.
And how often do they pick up the trash at the major, I mean,
We've asked them for once a week during in season.
Okay,
And then once we get into summer season,
yeah,
mid-July through end of August, it'd be every other week unless it's necessary. And then we'll revert back to once a week to the end of November.
and it's working out fine as far as there's
Yeah.
not any overflow and stuff like that. Awesome. Any other correspondence? All right, I have no idea where on the list, but I will figure that out. That was bills and claims, correct?
Bills and claims,
Not
yeah.
correspondence. Application for Fields Court, Field House, other. Michelle O'Brien Coffee Truck.
I believe Michelle, who currently operates the coffee truck at the property, was asked to resubmit, because our approval last year was for the spring term.
Yep.
When she went before the select board, because at that time, we didn't have jurisdiction over the
Yeah.
parking lot. They gave an open-ended, and it really should have a time limit to it. So I believe she had sent the information in to Courtney.
Yep, she sent the certificate of liability insurance.
Okay, and she was gonna check.
And then she did scan me the request for the special use permit.
That was approved by the town.
It doesn't say it's been approved, it was just like a printout of her application.
Okay. For the record, for something like that, that's not a use, because there are other permits required by the town for her to have access to
Okay.
run
Yeah.
a business like that. She's supposed to have
Board
the
of
Board of
Health.
Health
Yeah.
and this and that. We can follow up with that and give a tentative
Approval?
approval.
This would be for a year, correct?
We could do it for any length of time we want, so that it's.
I mean, she's been a good member, right?
She's been a steward,
Yeah.
like the other.
I've never seen a piece of paper or anything. Yeah, she did a good
Yeah.
job.
So I have no objections for her to continue, if you want to say it for, till the next spring, so that it's next.
Like a
April.
yearly.
Do you want to do yearly, or you want to do 2 years?
I suggest yearly, but we,
All right,
yeah.
I have no idea what any month it is, but yeah.
Yeah, to
I mean,
April
her,
first.
her hours aren't necessarily sports related either. She's there on weekdays,
We have mornings typically.
8 to
Yeah.
9:30 or something. It's
And
just-
then-
Sometimes
if-
a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing I
Only
would
because
ask
I drive by her.
is to get more definitive hours. I don't know if she put that in her request.
No, she didn't put any times at all.
Yeah.
The request is from 4/1/24 to 4/1/25,
Okay.
but no times or anything.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with times, because I don't think she's going to be there.
Well, even last year, it was for the soccer season,
Yeah.
and she was gonna be there on the weekends, and we didn't really have any,
Set time.
well, we didn't have any conflicts, right? We didn't
Yeah.
have anyone wanting
Right,
to
that's-
use the kitchen for some
Concession.
sort of fundraiser.
Does
So
she
it was-
use the concession?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay,
she's
yeah.
completely
Yeah,
outside,
completely,
so it's
okay.
great.
Yeah.
But, that's the only, but if there's a concession thing going on, it would probably be a little bit later in the day anyways, for,
Well, if there's no specifics of when she's using it, technically we're saying anytime it's hers.
And that's fine, and she's outside, so if there was a concession thing going on, I mean, I don't think,
I don't know
I would say
if that's permitted.
I don't think there was any conflict in here,
Yeah, I don't.
because it's inside and
Yeah.
that's outside.
And that's a fundraising thing.
And that's, yeah, it's kind of seems, the way that it's in our facilities and use guidelines, it seems, at least my interpretation, doesn't seem like a conflict.
Yeah, we have been asking people if they wanted to use that and rent that area, but we haven't got, it's been bounced back and forth about, soccer using it and someone else.
Yeah, and there's been interest, but nothing.
Nothing has ever happened.
Has ever happened, yeah, nothing's materialized.
So what are your concerns about hours? Or tell
Hours,
me-
just so, that we're aware of when she's there and when she's not, in general. She said the mornings, that's fine, so that if, for example, one of the youth programs wanted to do waters at their games, that we've given her the right to do it. That means the other ones wouldn't necessarily have the right to be able to do it. I just want to make sure that we're not crossing any.
I don't think that.
Yeah, I think that if someone wanted to do a fundraiser, I don't think there'd be a conflict. Because she has a standalone thing in the parking lot versus the field house being used as
No,
a.
for the parking lot only. She's only.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
She's
right.
only in the parking lot. And if someone wanted to do a fundraiser, they'd be at the field house and they'd be separate, I think.
Okay.
She came to Triton from 6:30 to 9 today, like as like a fundraiser. I don't know if those are like usual hours, but that's what I had heard. That she's there from 6:30 to 9.
I tried at 6:30 and 9.
In the morning.
She just for one day at Triton, but I think
Oh,
that
one
she's
day, one
just
day.
for one day. So I think
Yeah, I was gonna say,
from
it's
6:30 to 9.
yeah. Okay.
Um,
Well, I have no objections in general to her continuing to use the property to fill those. If there are problems, we'll have to address them.
Yeah, so I motion to extend it for another year, the coffee truck lease.
Providing that she has all the
Permitting.
appropriate
Yeah,
permit stuff.
permitting. And if something comes up,
We will deal with it on a case by case.
case basis.
How does that sound?
All right, any discussion on that? Second?
John seconded.
No discussion? All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
All right, easy enough.
I will email her at the end of the meeting and let her know our decision.
Concern of permit holders.
This was a question of a number of the team, the 3 permit holders were, most of them applied to use the property at Central Street from April 1st. Most of them were not allowed to get on and use it until 2.5 weeks later. Our policy is very clear about no refunds. So the question is, do we want to provide them with credit for the next time that they rent, that their organization rents?
Well, I had a conversation with the town, Tracy Place, town administrator, and it was discussed. She says we don't give out credits. So I guess, I mean, I don't have I think it might be fair to give like a week. Unknown caller. I don't.
Sorry, the
I don't-
Red Cross wants my platelets.
So I don't know if it might be a good idea to, what was it, 2 weeks? They
Well,
couldn't-
Tracy said we don't give credit.
Yeah.
Or give refunds.
But can we, what she suggested was to give them 2, if they wanted 2 additional weeks at the end of the year. So if they lost 2 weeks, they'd extend the season or the use of the field for 2 weeks afterwards. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think a dialogue would be.
Nick Moritz, Byfield resident, Georgetown Youth Lacrosse. So, just Dave, in your email you specifically said refunds, not credits.
Yep.
So, historically, a prior president reached out, or we reached out to one of our prior presidents, historically, we were given a credit for a future season.
That may be true, but we just sought clarity from the town administrator.
But
Yeah, she said
refund or-
refunds. Yeah,
Right, and so I'm not asking about a refund, but if we can get a credit for next season, that would be, because our season,
Yeah.
we're governed by, Massachusetts Youth Lacrosse.
Yep.
Our season ends,
on a specific date.
specific date, there's no
Yeah.
use for us to get
Yeah.
2 extra weeks
Yep.
later on in the season.
Well, she said refund. So let me do this, let me ask her about what she wants to do. I hate to keep running you guys in circles on this,
No, I appreciate,
we
appreciate your time.
because the way I phrased it was refund.
Okay.
Um,
And I-
Do you have an
and-
approximate year that occurred? Only so that there's a point of reference to go back.
I think I brought that up to Mike Alpone
I
at one
think in
point.
2018,
Who would you,
Farrell, Mike Farrell.
and thank you for that, because I have,
And-
I print out the ledgers, so.
And I think it was
see them
18.
The last 3 years, so.
I think it was 18.
That's
I'm-
fine, it's only for my edification, because I'm like. I haven't
And,
seen it.
and that was on us. Last time we were here, we asked specifically about a refund, not thinking about a credit for,
For future.
right, and that's just as beneficial to us. So,
Okay. Yeah, definitely the verbiage in the permit policy is no refunds.
Yep.
So, I
And-
guess that's a little,
And it is a little, it is a little, it's
it's a little different.
a little different because the field wasn't open, right? It wasn't like the field was open and we said we don't want to use it, can we get our money back?
Yeah.
The field wasn't officially open, so it's a little different, but, you know, whatever you guys can do for us, we would greatly appreciate it.
Well, let's be clear, it's for all permit holders.
Correct, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, all permit.
Yeah, I just went back and I checked Mike, who was the past chairman, and he said that they didn't offer refunds due to the complexity of it. That's what, we didn't offer refunds due to the complexity of it. So, yeah, let me talk to the town administrator and find out how she feels about that.
Thank you so much.
It sounds like, you know, if I reword in that direction, I don't think that would, I don't know what, town-wise, what the answer to that would be, but I remember something about, I don't know, do you remember something about a credit at one point given back? Or was it for a big event or something?
There was a long time ago, I don't remember it in 2018. I think it was prior to that. And one of the concerns was if we gave the credit to the organizations,
Yeah,
and that organization then merges with another organization and becomes a different entity, that becomes, we're not giving them a credit, we're giving them free stuff. Does that make sense? In other words, if Team A gets the credit, but I don't have enough players to, or I get bought out by somebody, and I am now part of Team B, and Team B is doing all the paperwork, it's technically a different entity.
yeah.
So how can you give credit? It sort of vanishes because it's a new entity, and we can't just give new entities.
All right, so, yeah, I think that what I'll do is I'll just talk to,
So,
I'll
We
put,
just brought
okay.
this out here. So we updated our facilities guidelines just last year, April 11th. So on page 9,
Yeah.
it does state refunds will not be issued
Right,
for
so that's
the
in the
weather,
budget,
which
yeah.
is what we were talking about.
Yep.
Just want to make certain that
Yeah,
it's.
Yeah, it's definitely black and white,
memorialized in
but,
the policy. In addition to, in our prior
Yeah.
playing field policy, updated in 2018, so that's right around that time, it also says that no credits, no refunds will be,
No credits or refunds?
no refunds.
No refunds.
So the
So-
verbiage is refunds,
Yeah, the
so
verbiage
we'll,
is-
yeah, so,
we'll see.
so the bottom line is, let me go back to Tracy and ask her,
Okay.
and find out if that's the case.
And if you could also explain to her, adding on to the end of the season for
Yeah, I will let
for
her know.
any of the leagues, not just lacrosse, soccer, flag football, there's an end date to their
Oh,
programming.
yeah.
and an extra 2 weeks is not
You
beneficial.
guys don't have like, I mean, is there like a rain weekend or there's no?
No, we've actually extended,
No.
like we go
I see what you're saying.
mid-June
I see.
specifically
For that reason, to give yourself some space.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. All right, well, let me do that. I'll bring that in front of her.
Awesome, thank you so much.
You know, we'll do
And
what
then
we do.
just kind of quickly, for next year, right, it could be a different year, right? Is it better to open earlier, or is it
No,
better to
so
tell you that even though April 1st we're open, is it better to say we're not? I'm just using that as a.
Right, so
for conversation.
the way that we've, last year we booked a ton of time and a lot of it went unused.
Right.
And that was a big expense to us.
Yeah.
And so this year we've cut back on our hours into hours that we only use. I think that there's no one else here that will, but I don't think we'd actually start booking time now until April 15th. Specifically for this reason, so we can save that money
Yep.
and book indoor space those first 2
And
weeks.
put those funds somewhere else, because
Right.
it could be great, and it could be bad.
right.
We don't know.
Ideally, we want to be on the fields, it's a better experience for the
course,
kids.
of course.
The fields are unbelievable and they're top notch, especially compared to some other towns. So it's great being out on the field, it's just, do we want a chance?
This
So
What's the risk? You're gonna
Right.
weigh that, but you're gonna weigh that yourself, so
Exactly.
it's just from my
Because
understanding.
we've had,
That's
in this,
exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
Was why don't we talk about, just before we put this to bed, the April 1st start date?
Right, so if
Yeah.
if you guys say, hey, we're really not gonna open this till tax day, April 15th, right? Then we're forced anyways to find
Indoor space.
indoor space or another location for those first 2 weeks anyways.
yeah.
So
So your fear, if we kept the date April 1st, your fear would be someone would take.
Well, I don't know
that time.
I'm not the one that books it, so if we start booking time April 15th, the same blocks we have every time,
Yeah,
is preference given to someone who starts booking April 1st?
no, I don't think so. I think that you
No.
guys have been,
Yeah,
It goes, there's like a hierarchy,
Yeah.
Yep.
and I don't,
Yeah.
it's here, but I don't know it off the top of my
I think
head.
that we're pretty high up there,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
okay, so if we started booking April 15th forward, or whatever,
Yeah,
then,
I think it's a business decision on the entity.
Yep.
I don't want to speak for any other, I don't think any of us can speak for the Rush team or the Triton Youth Soccer. They may want to say, you know what, we would rather schedule for the first 2 weeks of April and pay for it and not use it, and have backup plans, that it's cheaper to cancel some of these indoor places because we have it.
yep,
But at the same point, we all want everybody,
It's not that
we all want, and I can speak for the
Big stage
committee,
guy.
we all want the kids out playing.
yep.
Where you make your business decision is up to you and how you want to spend your resources.
1,000%. I think that also our decision would be based on what happens with the credit. Like,
Yeah.
if credit gets issued, then we might have a little bit more leeway. If not, then we'll have to figure that out. That's not my, I gotta talk to the rest of
It's
the
a
board. and-
business decision.
Yeah,
That's exactly where I was going, was open the season 15th, if it's nice, then give those first 2 weeks, use the credit in the first 2 weeks.
that's not a bad idea.
Or,
That's,
Well, no, but I think what we're addressing is, all right, so we're gonna have a big bag of credits if the weather's lousy for the next 5 years. And if there's no cash exchange, then we're just kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
But if the incentive, if we move the start date, then we don't have you guys running up to the field and
Yeah, walking around.
walking around, and just, all right, it's not till the 15th. But if the sun is out, the field's dry,
Then it's, well, make room.
you guys want it, then you could use the credit from last year.
then that would change, there are two issues with that. I'm just trying to flush it out, I'm not
Yeah, I know
necessarily
what you're saying.
I'm just trying to avoid the drama.
But, one, this year we have the credit, maybe next year there isn't.
Yeah,
How do we assess that time? Because you can't reserve it until, I mean, we have the open time to use that space.
yeah.
If we're saying which we'd have to change the policy, it's not a big deal. We change it to the 15th, it's nice those first 2 weeks, nobody could reserve it. So it's catch as you can, and anybody can use it. I could go up there and be a brick thrower, and I'd have more priority than the soccer team or the lacrosse
In
team.
the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and those are good, and we know, as soon as we do that, those are gonna be 2 glorious weeks.
Yeah.
And we're wide open, and
Yeah.
not that there is a rush to use the fields, but, you know, there was a long conversation about the opening date and the dance that we play every year about when it opens. Last year it was opened earlier, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
6 years ago.
I think it was like 2, 3
It
years around.
it was almost May,
Yeah.
and that was, it was
We had
tough.
snow April
Yeah.
1st, so you,
Yeah.
So usually these meetings are held the first Monday of the month, right? So the worst case scenario is you guys are meeting April 8th for that time period, right? You theoretically could say, you know, we've had a dry, maybe it's an evaluation period those first 2 weeks, and you can maybe alert the pre-existing people that are signed up for the 15th, saying, hey, we're thinking about opening up, you guys get first dibs. If you don't want it, you start on the 15th. If you do want it, it's this fee, and because you guys can make that decision at the first meeting. It's just an idea, whatever, to open it, if you wanted to open it up earlier in April.
Yeah, there may also be a way around it too, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I think
this needs more conversation on our part, it's not gonna get resolved tonight.
yeah, no, definitely not, but we can, the first thing first is just talk to Tracy about credit. And then after that, we'll discuss, start time.
Yeah.
All right?
Thank you all so much for your time.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Good to see the kids out on the field.
Yeah, they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
There's actually a game going on tonight.
Yeah.
With the
It's been
girls.
good. And we're actually, we've had team's doing great overall, like only a couple losses across the whole program, so it's great. Kids are really coming together, so a lot of fun.
Nice.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, update on old business, master plan update. Oh, that would be me. Well, maybe not me, but I'll bring. So I had another conversation, and this keeps on ping-ponging around, but the latest incarnation is the town has $240,000 in ARPA money. If anybody went to the town meeting, I guess we have a lot of money, or we have a certain amount of money in reserves on our recreation account. But town told me that we probably have $50,000 we can use, so that brings it up to $290. I don't know about, I guess we'll probably discussion later on if there is some of the community that get grants from banks, but if we can get to around $300,000 or change, I sent a note, I guess what the track the town wants to make now, because originally I brought up the fact about, putting up bids for all the materials. Just get the materials in, bury them away until we can have money to do the rest of the job. Have someone set the structures in the concrete, and then have someone else come in and put one of those safety surfaces on. But they want me to do Plan B, which is I went back to Chris, I said, hey, we'll probably have around $300,000. Can you come up with maybe a 2-part plan, 1 part, whether it costs a little bit more money, but we have something there. And we can do the rest as time goes on. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know if anyone has any idea on funding, if anyone came up with any thoughts on funding.
I thought Bill was going to.
So
Bill?
Bill is going to work on that. His son was in intensive care, so
Yeah.
he's had a little bump in the road, but he actually spoke to me today to make sure you guys knew that he would be working on that.
Yeah, I've reached out to him
Yes.
and corresponded a bit. As mentioned, work is in progress. I wouldn't bank on that. The question I had was, we did ask Chris Huntress for a itemized list of the costs of the different structures so that we can.
We still haven't got that.
Okay.
So I just,
And I just have a quick question.
go ahead.
So we all receive copies of the ledger, but
Yeah.
it's like 130, so we can only use 50 of that? I'm just kind of curious. That's like the key, whatever word, I don't know what word you use.
Yeah, a balance is $139,000
Yeah.
that we have in our account. But I think we probably can use only 50,000.
Only 50 out of that.
I think that their concern is that we don't want to drain the fund completely. But every year that we're appropriated $50,000, and every
Right.
year,
That
if we don't use it,
and we
it
don't
just
really-
adds into the kitty.
It adds
Yeah,
up
yeah.
to the kitty, okay.
So, who knows, but, I will wait for Chris's, hopefully,
Because if we could get 70 out of that, then,
yeah, we're in business.
then we're in business.
Well, I guess-
Which is
Yeah,
half
which
of
is only,
what's,
which is half,
which is-
leaves a lot left.
yeah, which still leaves a lot.
And I think that's why it's so critical to get Chris to get us numbers, because we can make a case if we know what the number is. And say, here's what we got, here's some money here, if we were to extract a little bit more than 50 from this, we could meet our goal.
Yeah, well,
As opposed to having to reduce it, just to have an arbitrary capricious number of 50.
yeah,
Oh,
so
And I'm
I,
sorry, $33 on the water bill.
Oh, I was gonna say it tonight, man.
I found it, I was like,
so what the plan is, and I think the direction this is going is, Chris is gonna hopefully give us a plan that is downsized, that is in the $300,000 range.
yeah,
Because what happens is that we have to have, let's say, a solid amount in that account set aside for that, $320,000 or $330,000. And if he can get something that's in the $300,000 range, then it goes out to bid, because we have the money to do it. And if someone comes in under that, then we can have the job done.
so do you think that it's doable? Like, meaning, my understanding is that we have to purchase this before the end of this year,
Yes, yes.
so.
It's, well,
it seems as if
whereas
we're
we have to have a
crunching.
contract, we have to have a signed contract, and I believe it has to be a signed contract for that money, and then by the end of next year, I think the project has to be done. So it wouldn't be this year, it would be the following year, I think that,
So basically, we're May,
yeah,
so if we,
can get a, yeah.
if we don't have the condensed plan,
Version.
is
Yeah.
that the word?
Version.
Yeah,
I guess my question is, did we tell Chris we need this late?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he knows. And so, I think this can happen, and I do like the idea of at least doing something.
Can I make a suggestion, we schedule a non-regular meeting to put pressure to get this, so it doesn't become meshed in with our other work, and get a quicker timeline from Chris so that we can get this done, because what can happen very easily is all of a sudden, two people aren't here and we don't have a quorum.
I agree.
So I'd rather schedule a separate meeting to get the information as soon as we can. Have everybody look at it and take
Yeah.
action faster.
Yeah.
Than wait until,
Well, we've talked about maybe not having a meeting in August. Well, if we do that, then we've lost August. And if we're basically I consider May is over, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna meet again, but
but
we need
don't need
Chris.
to have the contract by the end of FY.
Yeah, well, I think it's calendar year.
Calendar year.
Okay.
I believe it's calendar year.
That's
I
my
think she-
understanding.
yeah,
My
yeah.
understanding is calendar,
Yeah, yeah.
not
It's
fiscal.
not
Yeah, it was
budget year.
December 31st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that means we would already have to go through the bid process,
Yes.
pick somebody, and have them the contract.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's,
Which, Sands running through
Could
that
take
hour last
forever, yeah.
very, very quickly.
well,
Contract gonna be with Chris?
so what happens
He puts
is,
it out to bid.
yeah, Chris does all the work. Chris, what happens is that if we say to him, hey, we have $320,000, or we have $350,000, and what he will do is, he will set up with contractors. He's got a group of contractors, and he'll show them what his plans are. And then what happens is, sits by the phone at a certain date, and they just keep on coming in, they'll call in, and then he'll put the numbers down, and you just go through the listing. We did this once before, and money was a little bit high, and we cut some stuff out, and we were able to do it. So, once we pick a contractor, it's just signing that contract, and we've got that first part done, and then it's just getting it done and in place.
So what was the last thing that Chris said that you have?
He wanted me, the last thing he said, yes, I can do that. That's what he came back at.
Okay,
So I
when you
just,
asked him about like,
about shortening the,
Part one and part two.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and he said that, I take that back. When I brought this up to him the first time, he said that he can, I guess it would be a plan B for us. We can do materials only. He could set up a contract to do materials only. So that is still in the works if need be. So I haven't got back to him, you never know, because I was on vacation. But yeah, so that's where that stands. Ping pong update. Thank God. That's you. That's you.
It's been,
Oh, we've been stealing more, because the days have been nice. We've been playing ping pong.
so, yeah.
But there's not, I mean, that's just Cindy's ping pong is gonna stop.
Yes,
Okay.
so
June 1st?
technically through May, yeah.
Yeah,
And then we hit pickleball season.
yeah. I think the ping pong tables might come out on rainy days.
Yeah, I think it's a great combination to have both of them available.
So then my question would be, do I reserve not only the courts, but the field house for the same time? But I also am getting a Tai Chi instructor starting in July, and that's gonna be on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. So that's gonna coincide with one pickleball day. So if it's raining on those Tuesdays.
Starting when again, did you say?
July.
Oh, okay.
Second week of July.
I think that's perfect. And the Tai Chi's gonna go 52 weeks, or?
Nice.
Well, look at you stacked up overloaded.
And Tuesday's the only day that Tai Chi can go.
Yeah.
So
And then I
that's
have
then-
another yoga class on Mondays over in Plum Island, so
Oh, nice.
we're trying,
With Chris?
yeah, so. I can't be spread too thin, but I want to offer as many things as possible, but I just don't, do you want me to request because if we're gonna do that as a backup plan, it's raining, come inside. It's fine on the Thursdays, my Tuesday pickleball is going to be our beginner day. We've hired a certified pickleball instructor to teach those people who are brand new or
Yeah.
relatively new, so they'll have a
Foundation.
Yeah, I see no problem with locking in the times, so that, at least if you lock in those hours and it rains out, then you.
Well, but it's only, well, she's talking about us 4 more weeks, because it would be Tai Chi at that point, so I.
For Tuesday, but
for
then
Tuesday, but for
Thursday.
Thursdays.
Oh.
If it's raining on your Thursday,
We can give you credit if you're not.
but I can go in and reserve the Thursdays from 9 to 11 or
I'm
whatever.
going to reserve it for yoga. For
I
Tai
will
Chi.
end up once we get everything all set with Tai Chi, I'll throw that in,
Yeah.
but then I can do it.
We're really kind of tripping over your programs versus, and your programs work. I mean, I'm not.
No, but I think you're given a backup plan.
Yeah. But to me, at least my experience in like doing pickleball in April, it's.
Was hit or miss.
Well, no, it was a miss, really, but we had 3 courts busy the other day, so it's
Yeah.
like, so it just took time.
Yeah.
And nice weather.
It's the really weather, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, oh my God, yeah, because it was windy, I mean, it's
Right.
like 30-mile-an-hour
They were
winds
out
one
there
day, and that's
with
just,
gloves
that's
on.
hysterical. I mean, that's just that,
That's how much people want to play this here.
but the thing that's running around in my head here is, I completely support council on aging stuff, but I think there's another thing about ping pong, which is how do we get ping pong, how do we get Chairman Dave to play?
So,
I thought about that the other day too.
Well, no, and again, so it's the same thing, like, so Tuesdays and Thursdays in April, it was like, oh, I had something to do, but it's like, oh crap, I gotta go to the field because I told people that the field would be open kind of thing. It just was awkward.
Yeah.
So the faster we can get, I've changed topics a little, the faster we could get someone who's responsible to go open, then the faster we can get non-council of aging pickleball, non-council of aging ping pong and horseshoes.
So,
Call it what you
if
will.
I can speak to that.
Yeah.
I did talk with Tracy Blaze about like the job description.
Mm.
Really, it just needs to be role descriptions, volunteer role description. Doesn't
Okay.
need to go before the HR board.
Oh, good.
You guys can just,
Oh, because it's a
Vote.
volunteer
It's a
position.
volunteer role.
That's why, yeah.
as opposed, don't call it a job description.
It's a role.
Okay.
So that's what I did with mine, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
called them volunteer role
Yeah.
descriptions for all the different.
And otherwise, she's on board, we're just gonna send someone to you with a name on it.
Well, you guys need to vote on it. Whatever you put together for your.
On the
role
position, but not on the person.
Then you need to find the person.
All right, so there's two different conversations I'm hearing. There's one is the tax credit, which
Yeah.
is the same job description.
Volunteer
It's a
role
It's
description.
a role.
Volunteer role.
Not a
Yeah, you
job.
can't call it a
You're
job
right.
because you're not
Okay.
actually paying them.
Well,
The website.
again,
They're
there's
still
two
getting
different
a-
Website didn't get updated.
There are two different things. One is the senior tax credit, which, a volunteer role,
Correct.
and then a different just if there's a volunteer who's not going for
Senior
the same
tax
volunteer. So, because that's why, I'm getting confused, because we're down here, we do have senior tax credit for that. So we're just gonna focus on the senior tax credit for somebody to open up and facilitate the use of ping pong and pickleball. Is that what we're saying?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
and it gives us a media, a vehicle to compensate.
Provide.
Because, I mean, once it starts, the people that are just gonna show up, I mean, if the door's open,
They
But-
will come.
well, yeah. Not that easy.
Do you have to vote on anything in this?
So let's get the,
We need a
well,
role first.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if that, I must have shredded my old copies, but.
So we just send that back out, we can look at it before the next meeting. We can
Yeah.
sign it.
Yeah, well, yeah, yes. With just that one word correction, or you, yeah, I'll send it out to everybody.
Okay.
Just leave it at that, if I can go through.
And then if anybody wanted to,
Because if we're in charge of it, then all we have to do is coordinate with Cindy. We can find someone and send them to Cindy, and that works great.
There's paperwork on my end that.
That needs to
be done.
to be done, yes.
Okay.
So you're basically the intake coordinator, but we're the people that.
You're gonna give the
whole
description of what, yeah, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pickleball instructor is for you. What kind of deal do you have with him in terms of anything
We
extra?
have him on Tuesdays for June, July, and August, 8:30 AM to 11:30 AM. So he'll open up, he'll set up, we're anticipating everyone will help set up as has been.
Yes, well, the Tuesday one would be kind of interesting, but yeah.
But the plan is for him to teach them how to set up the nets.
Yep.
And then how to tear them
That should be
down,
the
so
first
that they
lesson, yeah.
participate in
Yeah.
setup and breakdown.
Um,
So he's not just lugging everything down to the courts or bringing it all back. But that was actually another question I had. We had sort of touched on this before about storing the equipment
Box
outside.
down there, yeah, and yes. I would like to do that. Just get an outdoor work box.
Yeah, that's
With a
fine.
lock on, with a padlock on it.
I have no.
Yeah, any problem with that?
How much is it?
It's gonna be a project, because I think they probably ought to set concrete, or at least put holes in.
Is there a place that has concrete that it can
It's
sit on?
asphalt, no, it's
That's
asphalt.
Is there a section of,
And is the DPW?
Yeah, well, I don't wanna overkill. I mean, you certainly don't wanna put a Tupperware box out there, because that's,
It'll end up in someone's pickup truck.
with all the nets in it,
With
yeah.
Olaf.
I mean,
Gone.
doesn't,
So we have like a Tupperware deck box, so to speak,
Yeah.
inside the kitchen.
Yeah, but doesn't one of the groups, the user groups have something attached to the
Signs.
signs? The Center Street sign in the middle of the parking lot? There's some kind
all the
of,
way up there, that's, yeah.
there's something that's been locked there for a while now, and it hasn't disappeared.
Where is that?
As you come in the parking lot.
Oh, that sign right there?
This-
Yeah.
Oh.
Not as you drive in the one on the road, the one that's.
It's
In the middle, it's
It's
the
usually
midpoint.
got, it's usually like a lost and found. It's had,
Okay,
there's been
gotcha.
like chairs there and stuff. It's, I think there's a box underneath.
Yeah, it's a box that is locked.
I mean, we could change something, there's a fence, there's a chain link fence, we could put a,
Are you guys concerned that someone's gonna steal it?
Yeah,
I would be.
yeah.
And then
It's just too much stuff that, and it's too tempting. Too much
And if a little
temptation.
padlock's not gonna,
No, and then you just take
Well,
the
yes,
whole, yeah.
if someone really wants to steal our pickleball nets, they
They
will.
So
will
you
take it.
you don't wanna keep them inside?
let me just tell you from experience, what it's like to haul everything out.
The grass
Because
is
I
wet, the
generally
grass is
do
wet
it.
in the morning.
Yeah, well, the grass is wet in the
So you wind
morning.
up with wet shoes.
But a lot of times I would park my car out in the front, take everything out the pathway, drive my car on the back, take everything, now that I've put it in my car, I take it out of my car. It's like grocery shopping, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I
Like,
do.
eh.
Yeah.
No, you got it.
So,
But it's heavy equipment.
so if we can, I forgot what the basketball court looks like. There's no, along the perimeter of the basketball court, there's no piece of
Yeah,
concrete.
so where like the
or-
fence, where the, I mean, the picnic
Picnic
table.
table, yeah.
There's a couple of picnic tables there, we could, that was another thing I was gonna talk about was umbrellas and stands for the picnic tables to
Mm.
offer some sort of shade over there.
The box is getting bigger.
Well, the umbrellas would just be outdoor.
Something, some kind of,
Well, we should paint the picnic tables too, that's.
So that was,
Maybe a Boy Scout thing.
So anyways, back to
the box.
Sanjay, yeah, no, back to
Oh,
Sanjay.
We are paying him,
Yes,
yes,
with your money.
with my budget, yeah. And he's for June, July, and August.
If we wanted to do intermediate lessons for non-seniors, just whatever, I know he's available. Would you have any interest in doing it?
For non-seniors, that's outside of my
Yeah.
realm.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great idea. The other thing he was talking about is there going to be open court time? Because yes, these lessons will be great,
Yeah,
people need to actually play
yes.
to practice, you know?
He can reserve it.
Well, because he's a,
Yeah, he's not from,
no, he's a Raleigh resident,
Raleigh.
but he's a US TP, you know.
Yeah.
Certified
So-
instructor.
He's a certified, so
he-
he's got insurance.
What I was saying
Where
is
it's
that
going.
after hours or after your pickleball hours, he could reserve whatever the fee schedule is for us, for someone wanting to reserve, like if the basketball team wanted to reserve it, he could do that, whatever the cost is.
I don't think he's looking to,
yeah,
he's not looking to it, he's wondering if there's gonna be open court time for, you
And
know,
that's-
people who live here to just,
The recreation committee would establish
Open court times.
open court time throughout the week so that anybody, whether they take his course or they play with the COA, they have an opportunity to continue playing.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Well, the whole reason for charging for the court though is.
It'd be for, this is for him. I thought, I
business
didn't know if he gave the lessons
I
or
like
something.
the guy, I mean,
Yeah.
just
I don't think
happens
he's
I know him,
looking
yeah.
to,
It-
like, give more lessons or,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
charge
fine.
people, I
Okay.
don't think that's what he's
People
looking
are
for.
already asking,
that's
Yeah,
what
he's just
people are
looking,
asking me about it,
oh, well, he's, I mean,
yeah.
thanks for asking, but I mean, what he was asking us at the Council on Aging was, is there going to be an opportunity for your folks to play?
Practice, yeah.
Right.
And then, again, I think the simplest thing to do is talk to some people who play regularly, try to do some outreach to some of the people we know who play, so it's different demographics, and try to set aside and say, look, at Fridays at
4 PM.
4 PM or 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, half the court is available for people to bring their own pickleball stuff.
Well, it's been easy so far, but at some point in time, we're gonna run into basketball.
Yeah, and that's why we work,
Yeah.
basketball needs to make their reservations if they're
Yeah.
doing
Right.
that, but, you know,
Actually,
it's,
I saw what looked like a program there, it was at a town meeting.
there could be.
Yeah, they all had matching shirts. It was cute.
And if we say, technically it's open and anybody can use it.
Yeah,
But if we close it down, they can't practice for that night. or we approach them and say, you should be renting this out. It's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
liability issue.
It's an interesting, but back at her, does he need equipment? We haven't had any of this discussion, that's why I wanted to stop by.
In terms of equipment.
Does he need more balls, does he need?
So I've ordered a bunch of things that I've gone through with him,
Okay,
what he
good.
was looking for in terms of teaching.
Yeah,
And then we're obviously using the nets, and we will have the paddles, but
yeah.
a lot of people come with paddles. but I've ordered-
I'm excited, I mean, and I like him, he's a good guy.
We're excited
Yeah.
to offer.
And Tai Chi too.
certified instructor. And Tai Chi. And more yoga.
Horseshoes. That's what we're.
Well, I need the horseshoes, the horseshoe fit, someone, I had someone
He's
ask
back,
about.
he's back on the pool table and downstairs. Did you hear any status about the building after my issue the other day? Mark was there too.
No, I didn't hear anything else.
Oh, I thought I texted you, the fire alarm.
Right, you
was
said
going off,
that, but I
yeah.
haven't heard anything else.
But I just never heard the, well, the fire alarm showed up, and it was Keystone Cops, it was, policeman showed up, and he's like, oh, and then the fire department showed up, and they, ran it, it was the CO alarm.
Yeah.
And he said, we just got to reset it, anybody got the key? Anyone got the
DPW.
key?
DPW.
Well, he called James, it was around lunchtime, so whether, because Mark, he involved, he emailed him across in Saco, like, doesn't freak out, you can use the building. But it was just kind of a weird, and it actually goes back to, like, how do you close the building?
Mhm.
And because I was like, the cop showed up, I was like, who are you? And I'm like, I was just playing pickleball. I was the last one here, I'm sorry.
The bathrooms are locked.
No, they aren't.
Quick question then, should we, Dave, I don't want to put it on you, but can you follow up with DPW for, if this happens again, where's the key at and how do we address it?
Yep.
Maybe Cindy could do it too. Because you're using that building more than we are at this point, if you get Tai Chi. Because Cindy and I were kicking around a checklist to close,
Yes.
things to check for.
Yeah.
And then I threw back at her, well, maybe the police department should have a list of people that are authorized to close, which, sets up this key thing. Not that, the key should be hidden somewhere, or actually, most of the things keys I have to see are in the box.
Is it for the,
The
just
panel, the red panel
red
at the
panel.
front door.
Is it exterior panel or interior panel?
It's interior.
Okay.
And they just couldn't get in. Well, this is kind of.
Well, I think that's a DPW, police, fire.
Yeah, they should.
It's clearly their issue, but it's going to affect, and like I said, it was just like, I'd feel better if the cop showed up and said, are you one of these 6
Yeah.
people, or, because Sanjay would need authorization and he's gonna open.
I've worked in situations where we've had it at a town level, and it becomes cumbersome to keep it updated, this person's off, I'm on the board now.
I get it.
Yeah, and it's just fire, DPW, town employees who are getting paid, they're responsible for
And
this.
DPW usually, there should be a number with, there should be a number with the police directly to call DPW, because I'm sure they have that.
Maybe that's all, just put a sticker
Yeah.
on their call.
Well, because if something happens, police call DPW to put, like a water main, so they have a direct number to whoever. Do we have to do anything more on this big one? Do we have
What are you
to?
gonna play?
so just as far as the outdoor box, what is the plan?
So,
Let's look at costs.
yeah, the costs are around, I'm looking at some stuff, and they're like $800-900 for like an exterior lock box, but you'd have to, if you can, I don't wanna throw this back at you, I don't know how this is gonna affect waiting a month, but, if you could find out what size and what, the cost is, because I was looking at some $500-800. Because we could find a way to lock it down so it's not going over.
Okay.
People steal no matter what, but it'll,
But just to deter.
yeah, it'll keep the honest people from stealing.
All right, so if I look in the $500 to $800 range, I'm not out of my budget.
Should we vote on that for,
Let's just get the number.
Okay, so let me,
All right.
but like, if I saw something for $800, I would pass it by, but my budget's different than yours, so.
I'd rather be pound wise than penny foolish and get something that's $200 that ends up, if you pull the side here, it
It
opens
breaks.
up.
yeah,
So that's,
and waterproof and everything else, that's what I was thinking, with the commercial outdoor lockbox.
And once you start putting things in it, things have a way of growing, like it
Yeah.
could add, you
Yeah.
could be adding things to it.
Instead of subtracting things.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put the defibrillator in, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay,
So
I'm thinking
you
like.
could put the umbrella,
or
you could put the
something,
umbrellas in.
Something,
The umbrellas, the
The nets,
Something.
nets, like
probably leave the paddles inside.
yeah, but those you would want.
the paddles.
but their concern is that we don't want to drain the fund completely. But every year that we're appropriated $50,000, and every
Right.
year,
That
if we don't use it,
and we
it
don't
just
really-
adds into the kitty.
It adds
Yeah,
up
yeah.
to the kitty, okay.
So, who knows, but I will wait for Chris's, hopefully,
Because if we could get 70 out of that, then,
yeah,
Right.
we're in business.
then we're in business,
Well, I guess-
which is
Yeah,
half
which
of
is only,
what's,
which is half.
which is-
Leaves a lot left.
yeah, which still leaves a lot.
and I think that's why it's so critical to get Chris to get us numbers, because we can make a case if we know what the number is. And say, here's what we got, here's some money here, if we were to extract a little bit more than 50 from this, we could meet our goal.
Yeah, well,
As opposed to having to reduce it, just to have an arbitrary capricious number of 50.
yeah,
Oh,
so
And I'm
I,
sorry, $33 on the water bill.
Oh, I was gonna sleep tonight, man.
I found it, I was like,
so what the plan is, and I think the direction this is going is, Chris is gonna hopefully give us a plan that is downsized, that is in the $300,000 range.
yeah,
Because what happens is that we have to have, let's say, a solid amount in that account set aside for that, $320,000 or $330,000. And if he can get something that's in the $300,000 range, then it goes out to bid, because we have the money to do it. And if someone comes in under that, then we can have the job done.
so do you think that it's doable? Like, meaning, my understanding is that we have to purchase this before the end of this year,
Yes, yes.
so.
It's, well,
it seems as if
whereas
we're
we have to have a
crunching.
contract, we have to have a signed contract, and I believe it has to be a signed contract for that money, and then by the end of next year, I think the project has to be done. So it wouldn't be this year, it would be the following year, I think that,
So basically, we're May,
yeah,
so if we,
can get a,
if we
yeah,
don't have the condensed plan,
Version.
is
Yeah.
that the word?
Version.
yeah,
I guess my question is, did we tell Chris we need this like?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he knows. And so, I think this can happen, and I do like the idea of at least doing something.
Can I make a suggestion, we schedule a non-regular meeting to put pressure to get this, so it doesn't become meshed in with our other work, and get a quicker timeline from Chris so that we can get this done, because what can happen very easily is all of a sudden, two people aren't here and we don't have a quorum.
I agree.
So I'd rather schedule a separate meeting to get the information as soon as we can. Have everybody look at it and take
Yep.
action faster
Yep.
than wait until,
Well, we've talked about maybe not having a meeting in August. Well, if we do that, then we've lost August. And if we're basically I consider May is over, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna meet again, but
but
we need
don't need
Chris.
to have the contract by the end of FY.
Yeah, well, I think it's calendar year.
Calendar year.
Okay.
I believe it's calendar year.
That's
I
my
think she-
understanding.
yeah,
My
yeah.
understanding is calendar,
Yeah, yeah.
not fiscal.
No,
Yeah, it
that's-
was December 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means we would already have to go through the bid process,
Yes.
pick somebody, and
Yes.
have them the contract.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
and
this
that's,
Which Sam's running through
Could
that
take
out of us
forever.
very, very quickly.
well,
Contract gonna be with Chris?
so what happens
He puts
is,
it out to bid.
yeah, Chris does all the work. Chris, what happens is that if we say to him, hey, we have $320,000, or we have $350,000, and what he will do is, he will set up with contractors. He's got a group of contractors.
The title of it,
Yes.
subject was, oh, yeah, subject was Surratt for town moderator.
Yeah, he was good.
And then I happened to just kind of remind him about a couple of things, and then my phone blew up at like 10 o'clock. I was getting all these reports that the entire DPW was at the basketball court, and they pulled it and reset it, and they,
I saw them.
Oh, really?
They were awesome.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was thinking about that the other day, so
Yeah,
that's cool.
no, so they put, one of the ideas we kicked around last year was to put, what I could think of as weed blocks, some kind of a canvas thing under, and so they did it.
You can feel it though, because I walked
No,
across
it feels so much more solid, but it was really funny,
I
because
walked across and I said, this feels different. They
It
said, we
does.
thought so too, but we thought we were crazy.
it feels more solid, but
Yeah.
the underneath, the underbelly of the court was showing the wear, like you could see.
Oh, really?
It's plastic, so it's plastic
yeah,
rubbing
yeah.
against asphalt, and so now, I think that might be mitigated.
Did they lift the whole entire?
They actually took it apart, so this
No
is,
kidding.
and this is the words I get, so that they took probably 12 tiles wide, so 12 feet, and they rip it up.
Yeah.
So they disconnect them, and they rolled it, and then they put something underneath and back, so that's, all that stuff I was worried about, how do you do it? It's just like,
Yeah, I know they come up
Comes apart,
easy,
yeah.
because.
And I'm so sorry, can you just go back to the water bubble? What, is that being installed, was that?
So we appropriated the
purchased?
fund, we appropriated
appropriated
the funds, it is.
And then we
in-
changed this topic and I was
No,
like.
no,
wait,
no,
wait,
DPW
wait.
is in charge of buying it and
Install.
installing it
Okay,
for.
but
the
then
money.
they're gonna give us the bill.
Yes,
Okay.
but they were, the last I heard was they were looking for, they were trying to get the plumbing situation set. So it was just finding a contractor to do it.
And this is going inside between the bathrooms there?
We're pulling out the old
Existing.
equipment.
Gotcha. I'll keep
So-
an eye out.
I will,
Is it
I will send
process
a,
kind of?
I will send another
Plan.
email on.
I'm kind
yeah.
of confused. Is it in process kind of?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Out of our hands.
Yeah, it's in DPW's court now.
But they just fixed the court, so.
We'll get to
Yeah, we
it.
can't push it.
Well, no, they're busy, they're not slacking off, I was just kind of, I'm just waiting for the bill to come in.
Yeah, no problem. Crosswalk?
Yeah, well, that was a DPW thing and they haven't said anything about it.
Okay. All right.
I'll follow up with them again.
Yeah, I will too.
when they paint all the crosswalks, they'll probably paint yours, it's the way I see that.
When did they paint all the crosswalks?
Right before school starts.
Yeah, last week of August.
Oh, all right.
All right.
It might be
I'll-
worth a phone call,
I'll
just to,
keep
can
on
I
it,
get it
yeah.
earlier, but
I'll keep
Yeah,
them.
considering there's not one there now, and they're
Right.
repainting it, maybe they'd be willing to do it before.
Right. Well, and again, the police chief was like,
Great idea.
cool, that's not a me thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I brought it up the
Yeah,
last meeting.
Oh, so it's a DPW thing.
DPW.
They take down their court, they have no objections.
Okay, cool.
Please, no objections.
Yes.
All right.
But they may wait till they have the paint.
Right,
ready to
I-
go.
Yeah, so I've got that on my list too. I'll send that out. If you, they'll get a couple hit them.
Okay.
Senior tax credit.
That we already talked about.
Already said? I know we did, I just
Job
don't-
description, yeah.
Didn't know anyone to add.
for
We're
a
good?
role we need a role description.
Okay. Fiscal year 25 spending plan.
Can we table that until next week?
I would love to table that. Do you agree with that? You're following this?
Good now.
All right, so.
I
All right.
have one thing that.
So if everyone's good, we'll table fiscal year 25 spending plan.
Yes.
New business, outreach for select member and potential grants.
Yeah, I just want to say that I touched base with Bill DeMayo because of situations. He's been held back on doing the research for potential grants that would benefit the Recreation Committee. So I'm in communication with him. I worked with him a couple of days ago for a follow-up.
Yeah, I know that he's been doing this for a while. So that's good. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but that's what I understand. Yeah, so outreach from select member and potential grants.
That's done.
So we do, we have a potential another member of the group, and he sent in his information to the select board, so I don't know if they voted on that yet, and maybe
I saw it on the agenda item.
did you?
Yeah.
Like past agenda,
Like
or?
a select board's It's either the next one or it was the last one.
Okay, I'll check in on that, because he couldn't have made it tonight, but we'll find out if that's been,
So what you're saying is any applicant would need to send their application into the select board with their qualifications and interest in serving on the board, and they will review it at the appropriate time and let you know if you are accepted for the appointment, in which at that time the applicant would be requested to attend the town meeting, or the select board meeting in which they're discussing your appointment. And you may have to get up and present yourself, and then they will say yea or nay.
you guys didn't do that, right? You?
I did.
Yeah, and that's what held up
I did too.
Courtney's.
Did you really?
I don't know if the student
Yeah, what?
representative, because we didn't, I didn't have COVID, but,
Well,
although maybe it's, I don't know.
I
I just signed the book and I was in.
Yeah, I did too, I did too. So, who knows?
yeah.
Who knows, we'll figure it out.
But it's pretty simple. You would,
Yeah.
he would give you directions, but basically, you just send an email to the select board and say, I wish to, if you want
Yeah,
to,
that's all.
I wish to be a member of the,
I just-
and from there,
As a student representative.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Not Triton, student.
student. Yeah, and you get to have all this fun. It's a blast. Yeah. It's a blast.
It's okay.
It actually is pretty good. This is a really good group. Except for Ben, we're kicking him out.
I bet.
Get out of here.
All right, so that's that. Use of Central Street recreational and environmental resource for public art.
Briefly, the master plan did call for opportunities to
Yes.
have public art there. I would like to move forward with that as we're moving forward with other things. It shouldn't be that difficult. Perhaps working with the cultural council,
Absolutely.
see if they want to take, I don't use the word ownership of it, but take leadership of it. If they don't want to, we can do it ourselves. The idea is perhaps have a rotating, open, outdoor exhibit, 1, 2, 3 pieces, something like that. Different models going out there to highlight artists in the area. Doesn't have to be in this area, but, preference to, but.
There's a whole, it's a slippery slope. I support exactly what you're doing, but there's gotta be some kind of,
Approval by us.
no, I don't think you want to be approving it. In terms of
Well, there's two different issues.
taste, what's the word I'm looking for?
There will be a separate judging issue, and that's why we get somebody who has more expertise
Yeah,
than we do
yeah.
to
I mean,
determine.
again, as a board, you want to use that space, that's great, this is the space you do it in.
We could open it up and have a
But,
different group
yeah.
of people who'd have a public discussion about it.
Yeah.
It may be more difficult, because then it would still be a public meeting, and there'd be conversations about it. But the idea is, it's not, we could make the decision, and I think what you're saying is, let somebody else make the decision of what pieces of art, somewhat.
Are appropriate, is that what we're coming to?
Appropriate's a good word,
Appropriate.
and that covers a range of things.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have a committee,
So it wouldn't be our committee.
No.
you would.
Yeah, I think if we limited our scope to reserving some space, then maybe when Chris is doing his walkway, he
There's-
builds,
Yeah, he kind of
he builds a
put out-
little burrow there that you could put art in.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with that, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, so,
We have that, I think.
yeah, so Courtney wants to do a,
Sitting out. Oh, yeah.
a
It's
group of
like a
pictures
large
on
space.
the sun rising and off of
In different
Plummer or
spots.
something.
He has that.
That's
I'm
cool,
wondering how he's gonna.
but if Courtney wants to do, like what happened in Auschwitz and show dead bodies, maybe that
Yes, it's.
is not appropriate? I
That's-
don't, so that's what my question is, I wanna know, who's the person that's gonna decide what is appropriate for the whole,
Yeah.
and who those people
Yeah,
be?
it'd be similar to what they
But
do
in
in
my mind,
Newburyport with their, or Maudsley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There are
Yeah, but he's
a
talking
jury
about-
No, well.
of judges who look at it about
Yeah.
what the theme is for that year, how that fits in with the theme.
Okay,
And honestly, everybody gets to have the space.
yep,
Other public areas will say, that doesn't fit our criteria.
Okay, but I just want to know where the appropriateness
Well,
and
the
then
idea
having
is reach out
families.
to
Okay.
Cultural Art Council, if they're interested in.
Okay, if, so they'd be the governing body.
So they may create the governing body,
Okay,
but it
okay.
wouldn't be
Okay.
Mark Sand, David Brolin, and members of the committee
Yeah.
choosing.
I'm also, I'm for that, because I don't want to get.
Yeah.
It just made me think, the library has our exhibits every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what their
Process.
curates that, yeah. 'Cause
Okay,
I might just be panicking, but I have.
yeah,
No,
I think it's a good idea.
point.
It's a very good
Concerned
point.
about potential fallout, and that's why he's bringing in people who have more expertise than we do.
It doesn't have to be dirty, it could be political.
No, that's just
Right,
it. I
exactly.
mean, we had something here a while ago, and it was like this whole outburst, and shouldn't have been, and it was the thing, and, you know,
Yeah.
people bringing that huff and puff, and it was just like, really? So.
Here at a rec meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna get into names or people and stuff like that, but it was a thing.
Anyways,
Spill the tea.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, I can find out and tell you what exact date it was and what, but yeah. It was a thing.
They made the minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Was Mark doing the minutes?
It's on video. I don't know, Mark, did you probably did. You might have made a mention to it.
I found all the videos, yeah, I never, like
Oh,
we get like, you know, 30 views a video.
I'll dig it out. I'll figure out where.
You'll have to find the one that has the most
most
views.
views.
Yeah.
Most views. It would be way more than 30 if it was
Yeah,
a.
someone was not happy
Good
at all. Stormed out of here. All right.
and just the application for next year, if everyone wants to renew or.
Yeah, we have to do ours, right, our
Yes.
applications for next year.
When is that have to be done by?
I think June, right?
Your appointment ends in June.
Yeah, so they like to do it at the, like,
So we should do it now.
2 weeks before, like, the 2 meetings before they start doing it, 'cause it's gonna take a while. I mean, ideally, I would suggest everybody, if you're interested in renewing or joining, I would do it by the end of this month. Then they have 2 meetings in June to make the appointment. Since we've already been appointed, we don't have to return to the select board meeting, for those of us who had to do that. And that way
So
they,
basically now.
yeah.
I may not be. You might have got.
Can you sign something? Let me just see what you say. It could be an email, right?
No,
Dave, I already put your application in.
John Regan's email address.
I have certain qualifications for the next agenda.
And I'm so sorry, I know we have one, I probably should have said this out loud. The A-frame lunch board thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so remember I
Remember?
had,
You sent me something, but I was in,
so I can get them off of Amazon, but there's a shipping fee for them. But then you guys found a different
I found a different
website.
but the size, there was some.
It's a
question.
smaller,
So
the one that you
size-
found at the other
Yeah.
website is smaller.
So
And
why
the-
And then how are you going to pay for that?
why do you get a shipping charge?
Because,
Some of the things on Amazon,
They don't
wherever they
run?
come from,
Yeah.
yeah.
so, and what size did we say?
I don't know.
So the
Whatever I
size-
have over at the field house now is what I found again on Amazon.
And how
Which
much
I
was
think is
it? Was it
larger.
over what we?
Yes.
It was over, and we were gonna get 2, so I was over your budget that you guys had approved.
Okay, so how much would?
I think I needed like I feel like it was $80 charge.
It was an $80 shipping charge.
Yeah, $40 each, yeah, something like that, yeah.
So it was kind of a crazy shipping charge.
It is, but
But I think the size was also,
it was,
the size that I recall that we approved was 24 by 36, which is just like when, you know where Byfield Fire is?
Hey, yeah.
That's size.
So I
But
have
I
a-
think you have a longer.
I don't know, the one that I looked up on Amazon is the very same one that I have at the field house.
But I don't know, what's that size, do you know?
I'm not worried about the size, does it work? Because size doesn't matter.
So
if
it
it's
works,
too light.
but
Say
if
that
like,
for a long
if
time.
I leave it on the
Yeah, I've been
deck
saying that for a long,
and it's
long
windy,
time.
it'll fly.
I'm Irish,
So you need
so-
something to,
So I'm saying.
But I'm worried. that-
but you can see it.
It's visible, we know what to expect, and some of them that
Visibility.
were bigger, but they were thinner and
We
less
got this
stable.
big open and closed sign that flips, just put on a storage box.
Well, I think the issue wasn't the ultimate issue whether, how it was going to be secured. So
Yes.
that nobody would run away with the A-frame sign.
Oh,
Sorry, but just,
that's actually
I
a very
usually
good
see 'em-
point.
I
just
thought
see-
that was
That
the
was
point.
the-
Remember that being the
Well, I
point?
mean,
It
that
must have
wind,
slept through
if
that
it's windy,
meeting.
it'll.
I didn't
That was
even think of it.
before you joined.
Oh,
We had-
oh.
Yeah, this
talked
has been
about
going, this A-frame thing has been going for
Gone for all
years.
these years, I mean.
It's probably at the end of the alphabet now, so
Yeah,
on an A-frame,
yeah,
it's more
it's
like
been
an X-frame.
Z-frame, yeah.
It was approved by, I think, a whole other group of.
Yeah, most of them are changed.
No, it was us, it was us, but it's
It
been
was
like
us.
2 years.
It's been 2 years, yeah.
Why can't we just rent Cindy's?
So,
I'm not
So-
changing those letters.
so
on
whenever
that
we
thing.
put-
Yeah.
I don't-
That's the part, that's the rent. We
I-
just signed that.
I guess if you like the size, if we're agreeing on the size, and if we have to appropriate another $60 or whatever it is.
Well, no,
what-
Can you,
wait, now we gotta store 3 of them in the field house too.
So, okay, so let's, back to the A-frame. Why, so
Why
do we need 2 or do we just need 1? I guess that's the question.
right,
Because,
if you just need one, then I have enough money that you guys appropriated for me to order it.
Yeah, I'm good with
Oh,
one.
no, I
That's
just
it.
one.
Would a second be a backup?
What was the second
Can
one?
always-
Or is the second one more?
Or another one.
For those who can't read it the first time, you have to
and I was like,
second
where did we get it? Anyways,
So I don't know if your reasoning was putting them in 2 different spots?
I don't.
I don't remember how we got to 2.
Two.
so let's go back to 1, so
Yeah,
that we're all on the same
money's
page.
there.
We'll
All
get
right,
1.
I make a motion
And hang
to,
on, before we make a
Don't
motion, let's
table it.
talk about what we're getting. So 1 A-frame,
yes,
depending, the signs that is in front of Byfield Fire is 24 by 36.
which is a nice size.
And if we do that size, I think that would be appropriate. And I think that would come in even with the shipping, double check that, Cindy. I think that'll work.
So, the one that I found on Amazon has that shipping, if you go with that other company that you went
There's
with,
no shipping.
but, no, there was shipping.
Otherwise, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah, it was.
But how are you gonna pay for that? Cause you have to like use a credit card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. so
We have an Amazon account.
Yeah, so
So
I'm
if I order
happy,
through Amazon.
I'm happy to do that, and if I do that, then Courtney will sign off on the
Reimbursement.
reimbursement, because I don't think I should pay
To
for
avoid
it
any apparent conflict.
and sign off on my expenses.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So if we wanna
Thank you
do
for your
that.
donation too. That was-
Yeah.
So,
No, not for 2
So-
years of A-frames. So I'm happy to do that, if
Yes.
that's what we wanna do.
I think we have to, I think we have to make another motion to change it.
Your name down
from
the
2 to 1.
bottom, we can donate it.
All right, so is every,
But I I need guidance, I mean,
what kind of guidance?
like, do you go for it, do it.
So we have to vote on it first, if that's okay, and then we'll have a quick discussion. So I make an amendment to, or I make a motion to change the amount of A-frame size from 2 to 1 and use the original appropriation of funds to purchase that said sign. Do I have a second?
And the original being, let's just have put a dollar amount on it, that way it's.
I have no idea. Someone's gonna have to tell me what we had or
It
what.
was, hold on. Stand by. I have to look back a long time. Keep going on for a while.
This is before me?
No?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before
Crazy.
John.
It was before me.
No. No.
Okay. A-frame. Sorry, I feel like we talked about it and then it got tabled for a while and then we went back to it.
How much was?
Ben's going over his mind, he's saying, I've had AP class, I can remember this.
Yeah.
He's like, he's got his little notes.
Is this gonna be on my
Study.
AP test?
He's
An
studying.
A-frame?
He's like looking at the clock and
You
saying,
gotta-
So the
Dave,
sign
Dave
that-
said we get out here an hour and a half.
It's 47 by 27, $245.95 plus a $40 delivery fee.
So under $500,
Yes.
not to exceed $500.
Okay,
Fair.
so I can't do that. Mark, you have to make the motion.
Make a motion to allocate not to exceed $500 for the acquisition of a new A-frame size. That would be A-frame size, and that includes the letters, correct? That will include the letters.
I second that motion. Any discussion? Oh, quick discussion.
Size.
Are you buying it? Are we going, is it been shifted up from Amazon to Mary?
How do you want to do it?
Well, what size?
This one in Amazon is 47 by 27.
Okay,
And
So
how-
the size,
It's bigger.
the other sizes are 24 by 36,
So that's a bigger one.
substantially bigger.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, what
and,
we got,
so in yours, the one you're looking at is Amazon, how much money is it with
246.
plus,
40.
plus shipping?
Yeah.
Plus 40.
Okay, so then we should have Cindy buy it, correct?
If
Yeah.
you want the larger one,
yes.
I thought
Yes.
you wanted the smaller one.
No, we want
Get
large.
larger.
Large. Size does matter.
Size doesn't matter, okay. I'm fine with that.
Now I'm told that. All right, so the motion's been made?
The motion has been made, and the
Reviews on this
discussion,
thing, like-
this is the longest
This is
motion.
like the key,
Uh,
Keystone Cops.
We all done with discussion on this?
Yes.
All right, so let's vote on it, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
All right, so I will order that
You're
on
off the
Amazon, and I'll
committee.
ask them to send you the bill.
All right, so
Right.
before
I'll
that,
put it back in for next month.
And then it will be done.
Oh, well.
never say never.
That's true.
So the next thing in our little group here is to pick a date, and I think June 3rd, I've got a date.
Yeah, June 3rd.
I thought we.
Do you have a date or do you have a date?
Someone's invited me to, my wife and I, to a fundraiser.
No,
I'm gonna go.
that was a good
Oh,
concept.
that's.
I'm not giving any money, but it's gonna be fun.
Year what they're auctioning.
It's just, it's, they're looking for promotional.
Can we do, can I respectfully request like 7, if we can do 7 o'clock?
Look at that.
Ben, is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'm out of school, so.
You're
Is
gonna
that
school
too
that?
late, is that too late?
I'm not,
Yeah, no, 7's fine.
Okay.
John, do you have a curfew?
I don't, I do, but
by June 3rd, I mean, out of school by June 3rd.
I'm all set.
So I
I'm worried
can't-
about Cindy, that's
I-
all. Cindy, you gotta
Don't worry
go home and
about
come back.
We'll do an abridged
Oh.
version from now on. If we're doing 7, we'll do an abridged version. No discussion or anything.
Well, we
just-
just. I just.
What date are you looking at for June?
I don't know. I
If
can't-
it's the
I can't do
10th, I
June
can't
3rd.
make it, but that's just,
So how do,
If we, if, you can have a day off, it's okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think there's just a follow-up to the credit conversation, which
but you'd have to be good with it, unless you
No.
send an email.
you just send an email and we can have a brief conversation, make a decision.
We're stuck on Mondays because
oh, credit.
the Reddit's available.
Yeah, I'll send out an email.
No, we can do it pretty much any, well, Tuesdays are tough.
Do we have to do it in this room?
They like to have it recorded.
So yes,
So the Open Space Committee, I'll just throw this out there, has had a meeting in my space downstairs. And Jonathan brought a camera down and set it up for them to record. So like tomorrow night, they're having another meeting in my space, so they'll bring the camera down to record it. So if you don't want this
There's a
space,
coffee pot down there too.
snacks. So just let me know and I can, if we do 7, I should be fine. If
Why
it's
don't
a
we
Tuesday night.
propose that there be a second camera? Take the IT money that I pay for my cable bill.
Oh, God.
and buy a camera.
All right,
never get out of here.
so should I just say June 3rd? Is everyone good with June 3rd, 7 p.m.? Maybe the last time you guys ever seen?
That's
Tonight,
right.
I want to appreciate, thank everyone for all their
No.
assistance on this time. All right,
We'll see you in July.
But we're gonna meet if we
If
hear from
we
Do you
you.
wanna
rest
stay?
So-
if we,
Yeah, well,
Hunter's
Hunter's
sooner.
might be in the.
Yeah, as soon as we get word on Huntress's availability, we'll schedule a meeting.
So that's,
yeah, maybe I may see beforehand.
yeah, so that's your homework, whether you
Yeah,
choose to
Yep.
do it or not, you
Yep.
have to do it.
All right, so right now I'm gonna close the meeting with stating the next meeting would be June 3rd at 7 p.m.
Yeah,
Here in this room.
Yes.
Unless otherwise, when he does the agenda, he could change it.
Tentatively,
Tentatively here. Tentatively, can't say. Tentatively.
and we may have our new member, right?
Yeah. New
and
chairman.
the new member will come through, usually start at the beginning of the fiscal year, so July.
Was it Mike?
Mike, M-Y-K.
He can attend, he's already done an observation, but he can attend.
Oh, another one.
And you're Mike as well, right? Daniel, sorry.
Audience members, they can attend and fill.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Mick
You made
Daniel.
such a,
Yeah.
such a.
Mick Daniel.
It's Mike, that's what he goes under. All right, so that's good. So are we set? Everyone happy with wait tonight, worked out?
Yeah.
Hour and 35 minutes? Actually, it was a little less than that. It was an hour and 30 minutes because we started a little late. Okay, I Make a motion to close the meeting at 8:03. All in favor?
I
Aye.